And once again, it is Wednesday. Can you smell that in the air?
I
Paper turns. Well, stop smelling your armpits, alright? Maybe put on some deodorant.
Some
maybe,
smell so good.
God. It's good to you. It's like farts, alright? You can deal with your own farts, but... Anyway, we've got a lot of comics for you this week. As usual, there's a crap load of stuff. We already have our Secret Wars video as well, so if you're curious about that, hop over and watch that one. But here, we're going to be showing you the non-connected books to the Secret Wars. Such as Mr. Will's first pick, the very, very anticipated.
Cool, charming, smooth. He's the coolest guy in the galaxy. Zanadu Calrissian, and he is in his own brand new limited series.
That's right.
It's the latest Marvel Star Wars book. They've got Charles Soule and Alex Malev.
That dude is writing everything.
He just writes everything, but why not? This is kind of a backstory before he went to Cloud City. It's kind of it's Lando and his Lobot doing this really cool heist, trying to steal this super awesome ship, and it's gonna be fun. It's just blast. He's cool. It's Lando. You love him. He's cool. He's smooth, and he's gonna show why. But it might catch up to him this time. There's a cool new backstories and love interest. We learn a lot more about Lando.
But are there any ads for Colt 45 in there? Nothing?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
Maybe. There's
Marvel's
Billy
a
D.
wholesome
Williams.
company. Disney will not let them...
There's some weird aliens I've never seen in any Marvel thing before or Star Wars thing before that kind of freaked me out when I first saw it. So I'm going to be trying to figure out what that is, what they are.
Well, I've got a pick here featuring someone who certainly has no problem getting drunk. This is Starve #2 from Brian Wood and Daniel Zazelj at Image Comics about this guy who, I can't remember his first name, but his last name is Crookshanks, and he is a celebrity chef, the celebrity chef. However, he has been declared dead for a few years. Reports of his death were greatly exaggerated, as someone once said. Now his wife, who's taking control of his food TV empire, doesn't really want to give him his money back now that he's alive again. So she makes him compete on his own reality show, which has now been warped into a sort of like extreme, futuristic Iron Chef type competition against his bitterest rival. And also he's gay. So Brian Wood is really trying to hit on all these different things, and it's honestly going pretty well. It's a really good book so far, and the art is super moody. Like, the
I like
coloring
that guy's
is
stuff a lot.
super dirty and muddy. Like, it really hammers home the idea of this impoverished future where it's the 99.9% who are all eating dog meat and not just the 99%. Yeah, really good book right there.
So excited for this next book. 2 of 3 of the complete Jiro Kuwata Batmanga! You might have seen the first volume a little bit ago. It had Lord Deathman! How can you not read that? This has another about 5 or 6 stories. There was the wrestling one in here, which is really awesome. There needs to be some evil djinn stuff, giant robots. Man, you know, I mean, it's dinosaurs. You just can't beat this stuff. It really is truly amazing, and only for $12.99. Like, look at the size of that. See how many stories you get? It's a lot. It's a lot of stories. Basically, like the Batman '66 show done by strange Japanese people, which you know is really quite entertaining. I gotta tell you. But absolutely, Batmanga, yeah.
And let's leave the bat signal on. Batman 42 this week, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. They could have rested on their laurels. They could have just said, hey, let's pick another classic Batman and do a cool revamp like we did with Joker and the Riddler. But no, they killed off Batman, they killed off Joker, and the new Batman is Jim Gordon. And I gotta tell you, he's badass. He kind of reminds you of the villain military guy from... It just hit me. The Planet of the Blue People.
Avatar?
Avatar! Okay. He's badass like that guy, but good. Okay, so there you go. And he's in this cool bat armor suit, and so he's kind of stepped up to be the new Batman. It's this weird corporation who's working with Gotham City to kind of step in to bring justice, law, and order to Gotham City. But you know there's got to be a conspiracy there. And there were some new villains last time, and there's more new villains and more new conspiracies. And where is Bruce Wayne really? I mean, come on. But I'm really digging Jim Gordon getting his chance to go into the armor. He's like a very different kind of high-tech Dark Knight, Batman 42.
Yeah, fun little bit of trivia about that shadowy corporation from that new Batman book. It's actually the same shadowy corporation, Powers International, that went on to be the main villains of Batman Beyond for the first season or so.
Oh, really?
So, know, just trying to seed that Terry McGinnis stuff in there.
He's very clever.
That is very smart.
And for another Bat book here, crazy, huh? Got Catwoman number 42 by Genevieve Valentine and David Messina. I haven't read a Bat book regularly since, like, early in the Batman Robin run from the New 52. But this is a ton of fun. With Catwoman's new status quo as the crime boss of the, oh god, one of those families. I don't know. They all have crazy names. But this features Spoiler, a fan favorite as well.
Whoa,
and,
she's back?
Yeah, totally. She came back in Batman Eternal.
Dead, man.
Nah, dude, she hasn't been dead for a while.
Oh.
Yeah, a long while. I think before the New 52 even. But yeah, this has Catwoman balancing her roles as both the head of a crime family and also a super thief who steals from crime families. So it's a bit of an interesting interplay there.
Wow. And a huge, huge #1. Archie #1. This is the first Archie #1 in 75 years. I'll say that again. 75 years. That's a long time. That's a crazy long time. In fact, I was kind of blown away. I was at the bank the other day, and this girl did not know who Archie was. I was cashing a check, and she's like, "What have you been doing?" I'm like, "Oh, working on Archie." "Who's Archie?" Really? I thought everybody knew who Archie was.
But they know who these creators are.
Mark Waid, Fiona Staples, the masterful woman behind Saga, brings her very, very amazing delineation skills to Riverdale. You've got Archie, Betty, Veronica, Kevin, and you know what? They play music. That's right, that really awesome Josie and the Pussycats cover that Fiona Staples did a while back. That's right, hitting more of that. This issue sees 22 covers. 22 this week. It's more than you shake a stick at, like, truly. But, yeah, I mean, get in on history. It's not every day that you get Archie #1.
And it's not every day that you get Starfire #2. Right? Well, okay, she's not as, but anyway, she's another famous redhead. Starfire 1, here's what I love about this. I will always love her in New Teen Titans by Perez and Wolfman. But then she was in the whole Red Hood and Arsenal. But it's fun again. It's Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Connor, the team behind Harley Quinn, and they've brought her to Key West. She's got a new supporting cast. It's fun. She's fighting hurricanes and all these weird mystical things. And Emanuela Lupacino is doing the art, and it's just fun. It's bringing some fun back into summer comics, and it's Starfire on her own, and I'm having a blast. And she's not just, you know, hanging out with two dudes in some book.
That's nice.
She's doing her own thing. Good for her.
Right.
Yeah, and talking about doing their own thing, way back in, like, God, what was that, like 2004, 5,
yeah, it was
something
like
like
4 or
that?
5, yeah.
DC decided to give Aquaman his own thing, besides just being, you know, blonde Superman who swims a lot.
Right.
With and book. They actually went and they sank all of San Diego, which resulted in Sub Diego. This was Will Pfeiffer, current writer of Teen Titans, Pat Gleason, current writer and artist of Robin, son of Batman, teaming up to tell a story of a really actually pretty badass Aquaman. Like, way back before Jeff Johns decided that everyone should think Aquaman is a badass.
That was like the only Aquaman comics I owned.
Yeah, this stuff is amazing. Like, honestly, a bit gorier than you would expect, but like with Pat Gleason, that's gonna happen.
Everything's thick, yeah.
Yeah, everything's super thick, super bloody, really visceral, and also he has a cute teenage sidekick named Aquagirl.
There's actually, yeah, there's a really good supporting cast because he's got to get deputies to patrol all of Sub Diego. And it's kind of cool. They figure out how to make everybody breathe underwater, which is obviously a very strange thing people have to get
And there's
used
an
to.
orangutan breathing underwater.
Right.
I'm in!
As cool as an orangutan that makes a boat with its mind.
That's pretty sick.
That's a really big book.
This is a true treasure. Fantasy sports. Sam Bosma. Might not have heard about this before. Kind of on the under the radar. But if Space Jam was done by like a really badass indie creator who was all about manga, that would be this. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, like, sports manga is a huge thing in Japan. And while I might not be a sports person, the drama of sports stuff can be pretty cool, especially when it's like crazy sci-fi fantasy like this. This is only #1, and I mean, like, look at this badass Egyptian dude. Look at that flat top. You cannot mess with that. That is what makes people jump really, really high.
Not like the legs that are like 6 feet long.
No, man, it's the flat top. I'm telling you, all right? But it is $20, but this is already out of print from No Brow Press. Very amazing. All nice and... Look at that. It's all color. Oh, God. I'm just going to sit over here and let me get it sweaty.
We're going to let him...
I wouldn't buy this copy.
We're going to let him have a moment of pleasure with that. My final pick of the week is JLA, the Justice League of America. #2, written and drawn by a man from Great Britain, though.
Yes.
Brian Hitch.
Yeah.
So take
fun.
that.
Right.
This is pretty much, if you don't like the recent revamps of Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman, then this is the kind of the classic Big 7 heroes, kind of from the early New 52 relaunch. And this big, awesome, epic story. This alien armada comes, and there's this pretty much like this kind of Kryptonian god, and so it kind of forces this kind of moral conflict with Superman. And do we really need another kind of godlike person on the Earth? So it causes big controversy all over the planet, and of course he's gonna end up being a bad guy. Come on. So anyway, big widescreen epic action, as they say when it comes to talking about Brian Hitch. I know it's a cliche, but it kind of fits.
He kind of originated that
Kinda,
style,
yeah,
right?
he did that. That's kind of him. So
Yeah.
here you are, #2 this week.
And my final pick, also #2 here. This is the second of 3 21st Century Tank Girl issues. This one, unfortunately, not featuring sequentials by Jamie Hewlett, but it does have a really sweet pinup by him that may or may not have been used as a cover on something else before. But it's still really cool. There's art by Philip Bond, more than just a pinup this time. There's Jim Mahfood in here. There's Jonathan Edwards, Brent Parson, just really beautiful work, even though it's not Hewlett sequentials.
Can't have everything.
You really can.
But
We're lucky to get the one story.
it's true. But, sometimes you can have everything. Like, for all those years when you're like, why, Jordan Vasquez? Why do you hate me? Why is there not more Invader Zim? It would sell. You would make it. But no. Obviously, the man has gotten broke enough. And he needs to bring you Invader Zim #1! Yes! Written by Jordan Vasquez himself. Pencils by Aaron Alexovich. And a whole bunch of other people that they credit. They even credit the flat people in here, which is really awesome. Color flatting is truly an unsung part of the comic book industry here. But it's Gur, it's Zim, it's Dib, it's Zap. I mean, really, there's pigs, there's moose, there's blood, there's strange Joni Vasquez monstery things. And the Recap Kid, because obviously, Recap Kid is clearly the best part. But yeah, 2 covers, one by Vasquez himself. So, get your Invader Zim on. It's good enough, Pig. It's good enough. And I think with that, I will leave you with the...
What's there left to say?
That's about it, man.
Just go rewatch Invader Zim, all of it,
Yeah.
in one night.
Now.